Where did I lose you guys? Hello?
Mm. Hello.
Yeah, I'm asking like where did I when my internet disconnected, where was I?
You were explaining the cursor.
Oh, okay. Um, so mostly the cursor here is just going through and searching through the data. It's searching for the name and getting the ID since then. This is a timeout, like how long should it keep on retrying in case there's any errors. And here at items, you can add a specific number of, if you want it to return 1,000, 100 or so. I left it blank so that it can give as many as it wishes. And then from what I get from the cursor is more of an object with all the tweets that have the name and their IDs are after tweet ID. So I go through each of these tweets and I want to look for one specific statement in reply to status ID string. This is what I'm able to know what if it's a reply to my tweet so that I'm able to now connect them. So in this scenario now I'm just confirm if it has that, then I can check is that equal to my tweet ID. This one here, the one I'm iterating from Airtel mentioned DF. Then I append them, all those tweets, append them in one string, sorry, in one list, so that I'm able now, when I'm done with all these appending, I'm able now to go through them, and I'm able to go through all of them and then have them added into one of my into a dictionary, into a list of dictionary that I can convert to a data frame. And in this in this list of dictionaries, each dictionary represents a tweet and its response. So I'm just getting the tweet ID, date, username, who posted the post that was there, who replied to the person, what were they mentioned before the reply, the hashtags, when was it replied, all those, like these are more of the details that I'm getting like directly from that tweet. Like I want to get this information from that tweet. And something I noted with the attributes, you need a little bit to understand how the attributes, the hierarchy of the different attributes for each tweet, to be able to really get down to it. This simply means that I'm looking for the entity attribute, and under that I look for user mention, and for each under that I now go for screen name, just to make sure like I get the mentions that have been mentioned there, and also the hashtags. So there's that need of really understanding. If you look at the tweet structure itself, how it comes back, you'll notice these different hierarchies. You either find a list of lists or a dictionary inside a dictionary inside a list, etc. Yeah, then I appended all those to one list. Now, this was the earlier one, but I felt this one was taking too long, specifically because for each tweet ID, it went and searched for it. And I came up with a formula whereby instead of going back for each ID and look, like for example, if I wanted tweets by Airtel, which I've mentioned Airtel, from a specific ID. Already, all those I can find specific other IDs within those. Like I don't know how to place it, but if I looked for all the tweets after yesterday, like if there was a tweet posted yesterday, and I look for the tweets after yesterday with a specific tag, And then today there's another tweet as well, whereby I'm going back again. I'm going to look at the tweets that I already had from today, the post that was posted today. You see, that's more of repeating the same work, whereby I already have all the tweets. I can just check from those tweets that I have the tweet that was posted today and see its reply. I'm feeling like I'm confusing myself a lot. I'm confusing you guys a lot. But if in case you don't get what I mean, please ask. Just stop me. I'll tell you. I'll try and find a better way. So in that scenario, to get that, I decided to create several functions, and one of them is the one to retrieve. This function is only called to do the cursor, to look into the cursor. And what you are seeing here is mainly this code here, just put into a function, whereby I'm requesting for all the tweets from a specific ID, with a specific tagline. But in this case, I decided to use user timeline. So it's going to look for Airtel Kenya's tweets. It's in this scenario, because I thought Airtel Kenya is the one responding, I thought there's no need of me going every time repeating myself looking for data for every mention of Airtel Kenya. So I can just get the tweets by Airtel Kenya, since those are their responses, and put them in one container. So this one just goes and gets all those tweets by Airtel Kenya, since a specific ID that is given. The name here don't let it confuse you. I did not delete it after I made the changes here. And then from that, I look through. I have a dictionary that has come in that contains all the tweets. Every tweet that I go look for with this cursor, I store all of them in the data so that I'm able to check through it for the other later post replies. And now I also, with this code, I'm just mainly trying to see if the tweets that have been returned by this cursor are inside my list. If they are not, I add them. And then I return this list, the list of tweets. This was mainly me testing the retriever, it's functioning, to see how it's working and all that. And yes, it was working. Then another function that I created was mainly the get replies. And in this, it's more of going. So what I did was, after retrieving these tweets, I sorted my tweets with the oldest coming first to the current. So if I look for a tweet, if I look for tweets since the oldest tweet was tweeted, it will give me so many tweets, including tweets that have currently been loaded. So all those tweets are in one dictionary, in one list, and I loop through them. I go through them, each of them here, and get the tweets that are replying to my specific ID, to the ID that I'm currently looking for. So what I was saying was more like, let's say, for example, I have a tweet that I posted yesterday and a tweet I posted today. If I want to see the replies of my tweets, and I'm pretty sure that these people will have mentioned me in their replies, I go back, and when I'm looking for the tweet for yesterday, for the replies for tweet of yesterday, I scrub for all the tweets that have mentioned me since yesterday. All of them will include the tweet that I've posted today as well. So instead of having to go when now I get to my today's tweets, instead of going back again to check it out, I just directly get straight from here, from my list of tweets that mentioned me since yesterday, and then I can look through them and say which are the replies for today, which are the replies for today's tweet, and that's what I'm really checking here. going through that list of mine, of my tweets, and seeing which one has in reply status ID string that's equal to my ID. And as you can notice here on my different tests, I noticed some most had in reply to status ID string attribute, but they did not have the specific ID I was looking for. Some of them had none. And specifically the tweet that I got down here, this is a reply to a specific tweet. And when I looked at its attributes, the different attributes, the reply string was null. It did not have anything within it. Let me see if I'm able to highlight it for you guys. Yes, here it is. So it has, we already can see we have a string, the attributes in reply to status ID string, but it is none. It doesn't have any statement. Mainly the way I looked at this is some of the replies to tweets are more like how you see threads. I still haven't understood how threads are factored out, because you go and read one thread, and as you read in that one, you are seeing the rest hapo chini. So it looks like it's a reply, but it's not really a reply. And in this scenario, I feel like it's in that scenario, the same, it's following the same way. So for me, it's to really understand how that is working and get to see how I'm able to go around it. That's one of the limitations that has been affecting most of the data that I have. I yet don't know how that works there. All right. So I do exactly like a repetition of exactly the same thing here. I do exactly, it's this code. So I just took this code and split it in two functions, so that each function is called when needed. It doesn't call them at every time. Which I'll say, I'll admit, for me, this was I did a bit of a similar thing, repetition, when it came to now calling them here. Here is where I'm creating the list, just creating the variables that I will be storing my data. But now I sort my data by ID, so that I get the oldest IDs coming, being the first ones, and doing the exact same thing I've said, so that I don't keep on scrapping for data that is already there, like I already have, what we already have. Ooh, I need water. So am I still with you guys, or I've already lost you?
I joined late, but I'm following.
Oh,
We're here.
welcome. All right. So in this now, this code is where now I'm trying to repeat now what I mentioned earlier. Like I'm looping through my sorted IDs, getting the oldest IDs first as I go on to the current ID. The last ID will be the most current. So I'm going through all those IDs, getting the names. Though this name, I don't see the essence of this line of code here after I did a bit of changes later. As I change the code as we go on, I'll be trying to reflect some of these changes, because I do know some of them eat a lot of my time as well. So I'm looping through all these, and in them, this was more of something of a test up. So in this scenario, I'm trying to make sure that every tweet I'm getting turns true. If I look at in my list, I go through all my list, and then after I've enumerated, let's say a specific ID, let's say like 2020. If my ID is 2020, I want to go through my list of tweets that I already have stored in preparation. I want to see each of those tweets, if they are in reply to status ID string, is equals to my 2020 ID, tweet ID. If it's true, it changes my statement here from false to true. Then now I can be able to use these. This is more like a checker to know where do I run. Rather than having to run the exact same thing every time and run this code, I just run this small code to check for the ID here to make sure they are equal. If it is true, then now I go and look for replies from those specific ID. In this case, I send my data tweets, the data frame I have, my tweet ID, the current tweet ID I have. I mean, this is the list of all the tweets I have. So it goes and then creates a dictionary of what I want from that reply. And in that reply is whereby I have the question and I have the tweet. And in this scenario, if I have a question like, why is your internet slow? And then Airtel sends me 10 messages as a response to my question, these will be, all those replies will have their own rows, and each of these rows will have the question repeating itself, the question that I had asked repeating itself in a continuous base. Now, if I do not find here being that my string, in reply to status ID is equals to my ID, if I don't find it, then I want to go back and retrieve these. The retriever mainly is going to Twitter and scrapping for this specific ID, looking for this specific, for the tweets after this specific ID, just in case the cursor did not get those tweets. Now, when it returns those, I decided to have this here play because I could not find myself looping again from this point and come back for these. This would have forced me to create another function that loops through itself. So rather than doing that, I just decided, okay, after you do the run retrieve, just run this one and see if you'll get the reply, which is no difference from what I was trying to kuhepa hapa. It's no difference with this. The only difference is that it can, ikipata, if it finds this, if this turns to true, then it will never need to go back to that route. It will get everything done in this first line code. And then I noted that after every time my run through, I'll reach a point where I already have the data that I'm looking for, but either my internet crashes or something like the browser crashes or something just crashes. And that means that if I already had list of replies already gotten, they will not be saved at all. So rather than have it here, because I had the replies after getting the replies and all that, I had them be saved here. Rather than have it being saved here, I decided to force it to be saved after every loop. So if every loop I get data, that data directly is stored in my function. And the good thing is that this data frame here keeps increasing. This list here keeps increasing. It doesn't actually overlap the others. So there's no point whereby that when I store my data here, it will be lost. I'll still have that data still increasing. It will keep on increasing. But now this also eats a lot of time storing this. So as the more the data increases here, that means the more the time I'm going to waste while trying to save the data in my CSV. Because if, let's say, for example, for every 10 records, I take a second. So as long as it increases, these seconds will keep on exponentially increasing. And that means I'll also be wasting a lot of time. And now this dirtiness you're seeing here is me trying to see how my code is running. If you have noticed, these prints are more like debuggers for me. I don't know how you guys do debugging with Python, but for me, I do printing in every line. If I suspect a specific area has a problem, I debug it there. Like here, I was trying to figure out, do I have like something happening wrong with my present here? is it turning true, but yet I don't know what, I don't know, like it's not going to the right place. So I wanted to see, does it turn true or false? Here was more of to see the number of iteration, which number of iteration does my code fail. Specifically for this was mainly because I hadn't put this here. So I wanted to see how many iteration, which number of iteration does my code get, and then it fails. And most of I found like there are specific areas. I cannot say like it kept always being there, but they kept looking like they were the mistake, the problems that kept on stopping. Because like for example, I kept on getting to either 70, 83, or 143 iterations, and it fails. And in this, it's more of timing out. It times out. But those were not the only times that the code went to a point whereby I felt like it was about to go on a timeout. So this was just me trying to see how it is going. This was to see if it has failed, if my present, what is the value of my present. Run retriever here was to see if they have run this part of the code or this part of the code. So if it runs this part of the code, it tells me it has run a retriever. Now, you'll notice there's somewhere whereby it came, it said failed. Let me see if I'll get there. False. No, not this one. But there's a different code whereby it came and showed me failed, meaning that there was some error somewhere here, which mostly I would have suspected this one, because it's going to retrieve from online, and if it crashes, it automatically goes here and says it has failed. The retriever has failed. So this is more of me trying to go through looping, making sure that everything is all right. All right, and then this was me trying to always get my data saved, but I had to shift it as you have seen earlier. Looking at what my data is, here is more of I was curious, like the formation of the information I get from my API, and mainly because if you remember up here when I mentioned like you need to know how the hierarchy of the attribute is, this one, I kept on, whenever I test one, it crashes. It tells me, oh, there's not this name, or you cannot find this one. So to avoid those crashes, I wanted to see directly how am I able. This was me testing the different hierarchies, how to access the different hierarchies. For those who came late, this was me testing what I can get from the object from get all tweets. Trying to see how many rotation, if I'm able to loop through a tweet object and get more features, but it failed, telling me tweet object is not iterable. Then here I was trying. There's a code I told Ayub to run, mainly because if it had run on this code here, I'll be explaining in a while. If it had run in my machine, it will never have stopped, and it might have even crashed my machine. So I wanted, since I assumed he has a better, stronger machine and better internet, assume probably his is able to run that code. So here was me trying to see from my sorted data, what was the oldest ID and the current ID, so that I can loop through all these IDs, like from this one to this one. And if you read this character, the number of characters in this number is around 19. So this is over a trillion. So this is like over gillion, or what goes after gillion? Is it there's trillion, there's gillion, there's what else after that? Like it's so many trillions of trillions of tweets that are going to be looped through from this one to this one. And this specifically is assuming that now when I get here, I'll just run the earlier code to get all the tweets from this one, because this is only one tweet I'm looking for. Here, as I mentioned earlier, was to see the structure of my tweet, and specifically to see why my errors were coming in. Because I was curious, like, why do I keep on? I have the code is running. My code is perfect. Okay, not perfect, but my code is all right. Why is it not bringing out what I need? Why is my code till okay, sorry, I was reading the chat. So the question I was having was, why do I keep on having this problem? I'm getting a very large amount of tweets. Like, this is already the tweets that I have in my list that I'm able to look for in my ID, in my, just a second, sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah, shoot.
There's something I want to find out.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for taking you back, but I want to know what's holding, what is holding on data underscore tweets. Maybe you can just show me quickly. Replies data.
Where replies?
And
Yes.
yeah, because you have the several lists that you have,
Oh yeah.
and I'm wondering the content of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. You can even just quickly explain to me the
Oh, yeah.
data underscore tweets. There's the function where you replied, you returned. Let me try and
The data
remember.
tweets. This one.
There's the Airtel underscore replies,
Airtel under.
and then there's the replies. Then there's replies data. Then there's the data underscore tweet.
Let's start with the one just mentioned, or this one. Let me begin with these dictionaries. I assume these are the first ones you're mentioning.
Yeah.
So
What's the content?
Yes. So the content of this one specifically is this row. So it's more of if I go and look for a tweet and it replies. So that data, the tweet and its replies. So the information on that tweet and its replies, whereby I'm getting the details about the information, which is ID, date, username, post, mention, hashtag, about that specific post. And then also what the replier did. And this in replier, I want to see who was the replier, what did the replier, when did the replier reply, what did the replier say, what did the replier mention, what did the replier use as hashtags. So all these, this is one post and answer and reply. All of them, like if there are 100 of them, all of them are placed in this dictionary. So in this, sorry, not dictionary, this list.
Mm-hmm.
This list, which is holding all that, like it's holding the data that we have gotten with replies.
Okay.
This one here, this specific list here, is to hold the tweets that have the attribute in reply to status ID string having the ID we are looking for. So this one, every time I run this function, it's new. These are new functions. These are new variables. They keep on being empty. They don't interfere with anything else Ukuchini. So only this function returns these. So for this one, it's just the tweets that are suspected to be replies to my specific tweet. So,
oh, okay, fine.
Then these ones, you'll tell me the ones I've missed. I'll just go through the ones that I think I hear. I think I remember. So specifically starting with this one, As I said, I arranged all my tweets from the oldest to the most current, right? So when I look for data, when I scrap for data from the oldest tweet, all those tweets that I get, I place them here in these data tweets. So in this case, every time I'm looking any later on, if I'm looking through later on posts, I just look for that ID here. I look if I test the same I test these from the strings I have here, from the data I have here. Do I make sense on this?
Not really. All I've understood is that it's sorted. Were the ones that you've sorted.
Oh, okay. Let me. These are all the replies I've scrapped. These are all the replies I've scrapped without question of which ID they are from. So if I'm scrapping for only replies, well, not replies, but all the tweets that I could get my hands on, I store them here. All those that I'm suspecting are replies. So, and then,
Okay.
and then
But
from
they are sorted, right?
no, they are not sorted. The only thing
Okay.
that is sorted is my data frame. My data
Okay,
frame
so
is sorted so
you're
that I can iterate through it from the oldest tweet to the current.
so what you're saying is that the data tweets are all the tweets that have replies.
No, they are all the tweets that I suspect are replies.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that now I can now give them to the specific post that they are replies to.
Ah, okay. So they are replies in themselves.
Yes.
Ah,
Suspected replies in this case. Then replies data. I've started to forget where that was. Oh yes. Yeah, I got it. So for replies data is now where I'm placing these small dictionaries I'm getting here. These I'm getting a list of dictionaries. So this is more of just extending it, making it available for me out here, outside this function. Yes, this function. So this is a list of every row that has replies. Every post that I've gotten replies for is a row by itself. This one here. So I have it coming here, being stored here. So that for me, this one is a list of dictionaries. Each dictionary representing the post and its reply. Have I made sense there?
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Um, let me see. Is there any other I'm forgetting to mention? Any function?
Have you mentioned replies data? I think.
Replies
Oh
data,
yeah,
this
you
one.
have. You just have done that. Okay,
All
fine.
right. Okay. I think
Okay.
those are the lists
Can I
that I've worked on.
can I say something?
Uh-huh.
I think it's very important, like you comment on like what specific, like you see those questions I've asked you,
Yeah.
because it's easier to follow in terms of knowing what holds what, especially if you're introducing very many lists.
Yeah.
So you want to know what holds what so that you can kind of understand the end goal or the purpose. It's easy. I think you've felt it when you're trying to explain.
Yeah, I did,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
felt like there's some I'm trying to explain with my own words. Although I was trying, this code has been changing a bit when I'm trying to really get the right details. Like these changes, like as you can see, these two functions and these will code. If you ask me, it's longer than this code. Though my justification would be to say that this one takes longer than these theoretically, but
Okay.
due to certain limitation, this one now becomes longer than the earlier one. But yeah, I'll try and I'll try the when I'm sharing the list. When I'm sharing the list on GitHub, I'll do a bit of commenting on most of the codes. It's only I found myself always commenting on every line when I start to like explain all of that. So I always find it and think, oh, probably I'm commenting too much than normal normal programmers. If I remember Ayub's comments, Ayub's code, they don't have like actually I think my code today has more comments than his. So that aspect of fearing having to put so much comment to a point, it's like I'm writing a story, like I'm writing a novel or a blog, is what I really fear most of the time. But I get your feedback. I get your feedback.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but what I'm saying is where you feel necessary
Yeah.
to kind of explain. If somebody else was just to open this notebook, they
Mhm.
would quickly catch on what you're doing. There's some things that I agree, they're just self-explanatory, but there are others you
Mhm.
you kind of need to be kind of understand what was the thought process of the person writing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try to even add markdowns to enable it more understandable and explain it further, as well as add the comment.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I think yeah, almost done. I think this was more of getting to see how it looks. Um, oh yeah, I was to point to you the hierarchy. Um, there was a bit of an hierarchy. Let's say, yeah, entity here it is. Though it's not the one that you'll find. If you look at these entities, if you wanted URLs, you have to showcase all these description from entity description to URLs so that the code is able to understand how the hierarchy looks. Although I noted like it's better reading from down here because there's so many hierarchies in these. I hadn't be, I probably next time I can try to use Beautiful Soup to try and prettify it, at least to be able to see several things, because I can call for geo directly, but I cannot call for translate type directly. So there's those different things that I saw. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, the code here was me trying to see how many tweets we can get, and as you can see, this is trillions of trillions. Ayub, if you remember, I told you you're going. It's quite a very long code. You might have to run it for like a week or so.
I had to actually interrupt it.
I had to like mine. I noticed several times. I noticed some errors in my code, and I kept on interrupting it just to get my code working. And I find like the interrupting button is not really working on my code here. So what really happens with the earlier code is this one. Oops, sorry. Uh, what the? Oh, sorry. I tried to comment here. I hope that I can add some few. So in this scenario, I'm just getting all the IDs um, of all the posts I want to find replies for, and putting them in one variable. Then this one, where was I using it? It's more of all the tweets that I'm looking for. It's all the tweets in this range coming in, all storing them here. So what I'm doing is I'm looping from this tweet, the oldest tweet, to the most current tweet in my data frame. And in each one of them, I'm getting status. Rather than just going to look for that tweet with a search and all that, I wanted to test if I'm able to get status, which it gives me the exact same thing. It doesn't give me anything different. If I was to go with any other search, I would get still the same thing, but as a list, because I'm looking for like 10 of them or something. So in this status case, I'm looking for only one. And in this scenario, since I'm looking for only one, it gives me data for one. Shit, sorry. Sorry for cussing and all that. So, so it gives me this one. So for me, I wanted to get one by one all those tweets, and so which means these are trillions and trillions of tweets. You can imagine storage capacity. Storage capacity will be over GBs, I think, my assumption currently. And in all these tweets, if the tweet currently, if that specific tweet that I've gotten in this iteration has the in reply to status ID string, the same as, you remember here we put all the IDs of our tweets, right? So to reply to a specific ID, let's say for example, if I'm replying to this ID, the value of in reply to status ID string will be equal to this in a string format. So this is still string. So in this case, I'm looking for all, because I took all my data frame, all my IDs, I made them a list into one list. I'm looking through that one list to make sure that for every tweet I get, if it has the in reply status ID string, that in reply to status ID string is within my list of IDs. If it is not, it jumps, it just forgets about it. If it is, then it takes that and comes here. This is now another function, hold up, whereby I'm looking for where that ID comes from. Like this one I'm looking, this is, I take that ID that I've confirmed, and then I look which specific row can I find that ID. So it goes into Airtel mention def and finds the row that this ID can be found. If that ID, then it returns a row, a data frame row. So I'm assuming in this scenario, I assume probably I might have like the same question being there twice or 10 times. So in this case, I'm just taking it and assuming if it brings 10 rows, I'm all right with that. And then I convert the values to list. And from those values, and now iterate through them. Because when you convert for each one of them, that is, sorry, for each one of them, and now from each of those rows, I want to get the first column, the second, the third, the second here, the fourth, sorry, the second, the third, the eighth, and the ninth columns to represent my posters details. And then since we already figured this ID, this tweet we have gotten is a reply to our specific ID, we now get what the reply is from that tweet. And then we add all that, the row that we have created, the row of dictionary that we have created, into our data Airtel list up here. And this one, so by the end, we have a list of dictionaries, which we can be able to just say, change to data frame. And we see how our data frame looks like. Whew. I've never spoken that long. I'm even missing dinner. All right. Many questions, guys. Sorry about making it complex if it's complex. I welcome any questions and comments to help me improve as I go on.
Maswali.
Hi.
I have a comment.
All right, let me finish the content and come. Thank you. Yes, go on, Ayub.
Sorry, first of all, apologies for joining late. I had another meeting.
I thought you were on leave.
My friend, I tell you, there are meetings all over. Kuna meetings ya nyama choma, kuna meetings ya kukustress.
Kia mtu hata
So,
hawezi tuitia nyama choma. Okay.
so I could not join you. I had to drop off at some point, but I'm glad I caught up with you guys. I think what Lona shared earlier is important. For especially for guys who really want to follow through for the recording, including myself.
Yeah.
So if you could just add some comments. And you're doing better than myself, by the way, when it comes to comments, yeah? So,
I thought I was writing too much, you know.
No. Actually, I admit my notebook doesn't have so much comment, but after listening to Lorna, I tend to agree that our code, we need to like give them a little bit more info.
Yeah.
That will actually trigger either comments to the posts and even direct contacts. But basically, I really like this session. I didn't know this is how you would run it. Because the way you've run it is even much better because of the importance of having raw data. You see, the data that you're actually helping everyone to generate is data that I would say is worth a lot of effort. I don't want to put a price, but anyone who accesses this data would forever be grateful to you, because one big thing about data science and machine learning, if you don't have data, it's like you're a farmer but you don't have a shamba. So you really cannot call yourself a farmer unless you're a consultant farmer. You just know the theory. Yeah, but we don't want to work with consultant farmers. We want the real farmers who will tell you hapo ukipanda nyanya haita mea, unapoteza wakati, panda miwa. So the value of this data is really important, and I can see limitless opportunities. For example, the exercise we are doing right now, it was for demand, to be able to predict demand for services, internet reviews, yeah?
Yeah.
And now you're in your code, I can see you've also factored in replies. So we'll be able to find replies for specific tweets as received from Airtel.
Hold up a second. Do you mean I did all this work for nothing? Like those replies weren't part of that?
No, they were. In our previous in our previous discussion, guys commented the kind of things that they would want to see, the kind of visuals, the kind of. So you actually did not do it for nothing. You've done exactly what we had agreed on in our previous class.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually exactly what guys wanted. So I know everyone is appreciative. I don't know why they are quiet. Sijui mtu deno atoe nyaunyo aanze kuchapa watu electronically. But I just want to emphasize that this is really good. And anyone who learns how to do this using your code, if you want to solve an NLP problem, you don't need to ask for data. If you want to solve a time series problem, you don't need to ask for data. If you want to solve, what is it called? Anything, fraud, you just need to tweet and check people who are just have fraudulent behaviors. I mean, this is the beginning of ML and beginning of data science. So I really appreciate what you've done. Personally, I think this is very good. In all the other sessions, we have NLP session. We've had this discussion. We have now this is demand sales forecasting. Apart from sales forecasting, where we picked to forecast soil moisture, where we already have data. This exercise is needed by every other group apart from image processing. So thank you very much. I would have to review the video, because I also want to learn all this stuff, and I would encourage everyone to go through it. Immediately after this, we are going to do something called topic modeling, because for us guys to be able to predict demand for support, we need to know the categories of support. And remember, this is independent of Airtel. Airtel has not consulted us to do this. That's why we are scrapping data. So we will need to come up with each of these tweets. Can we put categories to them? Once we have categories, then we go back to our demand. We will look for maybe around 5 categories, and then we go back to our time series problem and now be able to predict demand per channel using Twitter. Yeah. So I'm very, very grateful. And the next topic I think is going to be what I said, topic modeling, for us guys to get a time series data frame. So that would be the objective. Can we end up with a time series data frame from what we have extracted? So guys, please, yes?
So since we haven't extracted, I remember when we spoke earlier, you mentioned something that I felt like that would be helpful. Having guys help out, mainly to more scrap the data per month, so that at least within the month, if I can later on after, because right now I'm in a work retreat, quite held up in a busy schedule. So on Saturday, I could draft up a quick code that would, I'll try and make the changes that I've already done here and all that. Something easier guys can run, so that at least we have between specific month. So guys are able to run, let's say I can run January, somebody run February, like those specific months. And then because it takes even after testing like a month or so, I saw it took a while, and I was using Collab. It took a bit of a while, and it kept on disconnecting the host server. I still don't know how that was happening. So I think we can, whereby if guys can help out, we do scrapping. We scrap just each month. Someone goes with a code that scraps for a month, another month. So each one of us has a specific month to scrap, and then they can run hopefully like over the weekend without interruption. They can run the code.
Okay. Well, I completely agree. So I think if you're able to update on Saturday, if you're able to update the notebook with comments and then share the notebook, or even the link to the notebook. I know you'll post it in your GitHub repo, so you can share the link.
It's actually there.
And then, okay, perfect. So the updated one by Saturday, so that guys can start following through.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to assign each one a day, unless you feel otherwise. I'm not going to, because of time, I'm not going to ask people to propose dates. So Paul, this is one of the examples that I take advantage and I become a dictator. So I'll just give you a day. I give you a month, either January, February. I'll just go random. By Eric, since you started us off, I think I'll start with you, January. I don't know which period you picked. Which period did you pick? Did you pick for a specific month so that I give you that month?
For me? No, my testing was mainly to
random.
See the best. I did January to August to see how that will work. Then I proceeded the Collab one because it was crashing because of timing out. I think with Collab, you cannot, if you're using TwiPy, it takes it seriously. It takes the limit of 300 seriously. But when you're using the browser, it sort of assumes, like, I think it assumes you're querying several times. So in that one, for the Collab, I used July to August. No, actually August to current. But
August to current.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to start with January. So for the sake of this, we just see how much data we will get.
Yeah.
So I'll give you again January, and then Bilha February. If you have a different opinion, please just let me know. If it is too steep, I could pair you up or reach out to Eric and ask in the WhatsApp group if there is a help. So Bilha February, and then Edgar would go for March. Grace April. Grace will be April. Let me just please take note of the months, because next time we will just ask. Grace is April, and through this you're going to learn. Dennis is May. Dennis will be May, and then Solace May, June. Solace will be June, and then Stanley July. Stanley July, and then Nelly will be August. Nelly will be August, and then hata Ayub. Jina yangu iko hapo pia.
Ayub December.
Ayub December. Sawa, acha niweke hapo.
So we have from December to August.
Oh, but now August, September. September kuna Lona yuko bado.
September we cannot get for the future tweets.
Oh, we are in September. Oops. Okay, now we need to go to 2019 now.
Yeah, we're in
December.
August. So the person,
yes.
Nelly, is going to have an easier life.
Because it's half.
Yes.
You know, but August is almost done.
Of course.
Yeah. So Nelly August, and then Ayub December 2019, and then Lona gets November 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I think that is full house. So we have from November 2019 to August 2020. That's a year worth of data. So that would be very, very good data. And thanks to you, Enrico, we will learn how to tweet data, and we can even do it for our own sakes. But for this class, in the spirit of teamwork,
yeah,
let's ensure that we get this data. Through this, we will have learned how to scrap data, and then we'll also be contributing for us guys to actually meet our objective of learning the demand and other things.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any other person with anything?
Let's hurry up. I need to go and eat.
Yes. Bilha, please say something. Alikuja na kachomoka.
Alisema audio yake
ana speaker.
Oh, ana speaker. Okay. Ana speaker wa mic.
Ana mic, akona speaker.
Oh. Sawa.
Good job, Eriko.
Thanks.
At least umeongea Kiingereza for 10 minutes straight.
Hadi nasikia ni kama nimegwarwa throat bana.
Sawa.
Saizi lazima nitafute something to cool my throat.
Aenda ukule. I think we are good. Thank you very, very much. This was really nice. Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll send you the videos later. Nani, I cannot push them to YouTube. I'll send to you, Robert. I hope you have enough GBs on your phone.
Yes. I hope so too. But I think I will be able to. Tomato.
Awesome. All right. See you guys later.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Be safe, and until next time, keep studying.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.